Hello, this is David Kettlewell, and welcome to Medical Matters, because life matters. We're going to be talking today with a real-life hero. He's an individual who has overcome drug addiction and mental illness over a 22-year time period to be a spokesperson for the rights of those who have certain issues in life that they need help with, part of a program supported by the government. Absolutely fantastic story. Be right back. Hi, I would like to introduce our guest. He is an incredible human being by any standard. His name is Leslie Saunders, and he is with Western New York Independent Living, Inc., funded by the federal government. He is a mental health systems advocate, helping people with mental health issues to get back into jobs and be successful. But he's actually one of their peers. He's formerly the Mental Health Peer Connection is the name of his little area of expertise. But he's an individual who's overcome actually schizophrenia, manic depression, and a drug addiction, and come forward to help others to get off of government programs and get back into society in a positive way. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, David, for having me.
Yeah, it's an honor to have someone such as yourself on our show.
On behalf of the Independent Living Incorporated of Western New York, thank you for the opportunity to participate in Medical Matters.
Great. Tell me a little bit about the Western New York Independent Living, Inc.
We started out approximately 30 years ago, and we have grown to have about 5 little companies under our umbrella that support the independence of anyone with a disability, whether it's physical, mental, visual, hearing, regardless. We promote independence and recovery. We believe recovery is possible.
What makes it so hard for someone who has a mental illness to get back into society in a positive way? You've been there, you know the answer.
One of the hurdles was the way the system ingrained into me that I could not. I was not held accountable or responsible for my actions because of my diagnosis. That's changed over the years. As a person with a mental health diagnosis and having substance abuse problems, I had to learn I had the responsibility to be responsible and to take control of my life, to be able to ask for what I want and not act out what I wanted because I couldn't get it.
You came onto the show today, which we appreciate, to share some important information with the public. Start in on what you wanted to share.
Recently, legislation in New York State was passed. It's called Timothy's Law. Timothy's Law is an add-on or something to put some teeth into the mental health parity law, which was passed several years earlier. There was a problem, a gap for persons with a diagnosis to return to work and to have medical coverage. My mind is just another part of my body, such as my foot or my elbow. But since I can't, or doctors or someone can't see what's going on in my mind, they tend to want to limit the type of treatment I would receive. So I would possibly get 2 assessment visits and then 4 therapy visits. That may not be sufficient.
In the past?
In the past.
Before parity?
We've made improvements and we're still working out a lot of the glitches. This is still new, and I am very confident that things will be refined as we continue to go down the line. But now a person doesn't have to basically be stifled and because they don't have health coverage. I could break my ankle 20 times because they can see the break, they would cover the break. But they can't see this here, so they limited how much I could have.
Parity has been an issue in many cities across the United States. Basically, the idea was that the social safety net for people with a disease such as heart disease or leukemia was fairly strong. But for many, many years, mental health was not sufficient coverage for the need of the patient. This was something that was addressed through parity legislation. But getting back to your organization and what you do, It's actually in the interest of the state financially to ensure that people get the best care possible that's really effective for their needs and get back in the workplace. And that's really what you do personally every day, is help people do that.
The cost analysis was at $1.24 is the actual cost for the insurance carrier to provide this coverage. Individuals would be able to return to work, become self-sufficient, become members of the tax bracket. They would pay into the system instead of take away from the system. It's a win situation for $1.24 per individual. So that's
when you say $1.24 per individual, you mean per what? Per day, per month, per year?
I'm not an insurance expert, so I don't want to go there. I'm not that versed, but the researchers said that it would cost $1.24 per day per person to insure them.
Per day, per person to insure them.
Yes, I believe that's the correct number.
What we're really talking about right now is working. You work with individuals who have a mental illness or a former drug addiction.
Yes.
You counsel them personally, having gone through it.
Peer counseling, not professional counseling.
Peer counseling.
Just my experience.
And you guide them in making choices that help them to become a productive part of society, to their benefit and to society's benefit.
Correct. We will help a person lay out a plan, look at the different options, not try to peg them into the particular hole that I went through, but help them see that there's an array of options. Which one do you want to choose? It may not be the one that I choose, but if it's sufficient for you, my responsibility is not to abandon you, but to walk by your side. We learn from our success or our failure.
What are some of the attitudes that you bump into when you go to see someone that you're counseling as a peer counselor, that you help them change their thinking a little bit, and that change in thinking results in them having a better life and society running more efficiently?
One person specifically comes to mind. Currently, he's on the payroll at the Western New York Independent Living Incorporated. He came in and he wanted our support. Frankly, I sat down with him after getting to know him and said, you have the same talents that I have. We ran the same streets together. This is what I did with those talents.
What does the word running the streets mean?
Running the streets, we gang-banged or we would engage in other non-traditional employment.
What's
ventures.
gang-bang?
Gang members.
Oh, you were a member of a gang.
Back in the early 70s, I participated a little bit here and there, but it was a necessary evil for survival.
Okay, and I'm guessing it wasn't a social club playing Skittles.
No, we did not play Skittles. We engaged in other vigorous activities.
Okay. Tell us about your personal story in detail. Take us back 22 years ago. What did your life look like? How did you find the strength of spirit to pull yourself up and overcome schizophrenia, manic depression, and a drug addiction to become the erudite, well-spoken public servant that you are today?
Let me be clear about a few things, David. I'm in the recovery process. The recovery process means I still have schizophrenia, I still have my manic depression, and I still have my anxiety. My substance abuse and alcoholism is under control because I simply don't pick up or drink. But those other illnesses, I still have them today. I've learned how to manage them. When we go to counseling, they talk about these are the tools to help you manage your symptoms. I've learned how to mix traditional medicine and personal medicine and found a cocktail that's a recipe for success for me. This may not work for everybody, but it's been sufficient for me for the past 10 years. In approximately 73, I walked into E.J. Meyer Memorial Hospital, K unit, and told them something's not right with me. I don't know exactly what it was.
For more Medical Matters television shows, go online to medicalmatters.tv.